By the by, yes, that tastes very good in my coffee. I can't imagine what a whole one would do. So I just got a notification from the mayor. She had a therapy appointment scheduled for tomorrow morning. But I'm assuming because of the weather, either that or the fact that I know she already did not want to be up and going at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I know this because we talked about it last week when we got up and went at 7 o'clock in the morning. But it is really, for most people, still fairly early in the day. I feel like I've done nothing, but I've done plenty. I've been up since 2:30. This is a cycle that's starting that I don't think I'm gonna like. I got up at 2:30 yesterday morning, but that's because I couldn't sleep right. I slept like 4 hours, and then I drove the 6 to 7 hours. Well, it was 7 hours till we got back here. The 7 hours home, we made 2, technically 3 stops along the way. 4, I guess. On our way out of town, we got breakfast and gas. I drove about half the distance. We stopped. They went in and went to the restroom. Nobody ate. And we got and kept going. I had to stop for gas when we were close to home, 4. And then we got back here. And I did all of that on very little sleep, but I felt very awake and alert for the whole drive, except for like 3 quick moments where for just a second okay. And I personally think that this is a testament to the power of collective energy and thought. Because the simple fact of the matter is, they wanted to get back and get it over with as quick as possible. I wanted to get back and get it over with as quick as possible. And that was one of the smoothest, easiest drives I have ever taken. I don't know what stone this egg is made out of, but oh my goodness. That might have to go on the altar. Nonetheless, I have to consider, because I think I'm a good person. I try to be a good person. I've been a bad person. I've been a terrible, horrible person at times in my life, sometimes on purpose, which is why I'm comfortable and confident saying I'm not a bad person today, because I know what it means to be one. I know how that feels as opposed to how this feels. But I still have to check myself. Am I doing wrong things? The whole, I miss you and it feels more like home when you're here, that's, I think, where Sunshine gets her, you just want me up your ass all the time. Of course, I do not think those are her words. But it's not true. I didn't want her up my ass when she was a kid and was actually up my ass. I love her and I love spending time with her. I don't need her up my ass. I just would like to once in a while hear from her. Or have her maybe smile when she sees me, like she's actually happy to see me. Or maybe give me every third hug. Maybe make it a real, genuine, sincere hug. I get better hugs from people I've just met than I get from my own daughters. That's what I'd like. I don't want her up my ass. Yes, I'd like to maybe take her to a meal, breakfast or lunch or dinner, and chat for a little bit. Know what's going on in her life, what she's trying to do for school. She doesn't talk to me about anything. I don't want her up my ass. I just want her in my life. How to open this bottle? It's a wax. Oh, look at that. I don't know what I'm saying as my trembling fingers touch forbidden places. Bum, bum, bum. Dummy. See, I'm going to tell you later how I very often do stupid stuff. That was one of those moments. There's a string on this side, too. There's a whole system in place for opening this up. What do you know about that? Unfortunately, I'm not doing a very good job with it. So they're young, and they are damaged. They are traumatized from being in that house, the split of us, things with me, my homelessness. Like, they've been through a lot. God bless those girls. I've always tried to make it as easy and good as I possibly could for them. But they have definitely been through a lot, and I get that they're hurting. And apparently, it's come to, they need a place to put all that hurt and anger, and I guess I'm it. So, before I get into the drama, I have one more piece of feedback. There was a statement made earlier, and it wasn't anything derogatory, and nothing was meant by it, and I won't say by whom. And also, when you hear this, don't take it just, the statement plays into everything that's happening in my life right now, as well as it kind of feeds back into Buckle Up and what I was saying with that. So now my schedule is a little freer tomorrow because I don't have to take the mayor to her appointment. She canceled it. And the statement was made, you can go out and you can make real money. Yes, I could, but I'm not going to. The whole thing is I have to stop pushing. That's what the message has been since I was living in the homestead, pre-stroke. The message was constantly, you have to give yourself a break. Slow down, take it easier, do less, have more. The stroke was a big wake-up call to that because it made it so I have to do less. Because I can't do what I was doing before. I said, I'm not like everyone else. I'm not living the same life as you. I can't be focused on the money. I keep doing that and it keeps doing me no good. Just causing me stress and pressure. I can make enough money to manage and juggle and I'll figure it out. But I have to stop shooting for the big goals and just right now for now, because it's also not just about the money anymore. It's about the life. I said, you're so talented. You're not using your gifts right. You're not putting them out there right. And part of what I got out of my weekend experience is, because I said in Buckle Up, I don't know what more I can do. Ask and it is given. There's a lot more I can do. I have social media platforms. Some I don't really use at all. Others I don't use to their full capability for me. I just kind of half-ass it. Because all of these things take time and they're not generating money. And I'm focused on the money. Not just with Welcome to My Life, but even crafting. I have to make time for crafting. That was the whole point to anchoring myself around the cave so that I could get in there and at least keep one of my passions alive. So like I say, they did not really talk to me from the fight on, unless absolutely necessary, not even a little. Now, like I say, I texted them from the bench in the subway station, like, come, get on the train, we'll go back, and then we'll go back to the house. We've already got an Uber, okay. Once they were back at the house, they settled into Sunshine's room, and I went and I knocked on the door. And I said, I know you don't want to hear from me right now, but I've just got a few quick things. One, because they had asked, they actually sent me a text from dinner. Cuddlebug sent a text, can't we just go home now? Fuck no! First of all, I paid for the night. Second of all, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning and I have not had any rest since. And I drove and I've been walking around Boston all day. I cannot start a 7-hour drive home now. No. So I went to the door and I said, look, we're stuck with each other for the next 24 hours. We might as well make the most of it. I said, I committed to taking care of you on this trip. So anything you still want to go and do or see or buy, because I had offered to buy them their Christmas presents while we were up there, and Cuddlebug found something she wanted. I said, that's also when I offered I was going to take my walk with my device, which I needed to do because my walking all day was not focused on walking. It was focused on moving and keeping going. And I can't focus on the speed and the proper walk at the same time. I can do one or the other. So for 2 days, it was moving and I was feeling fatigued, and I figured I'd strap my device on so that it could help remind my leg what it's supposed to be doing as I walk, and I would go and take a nice casual walk focused on walking. It was also very meditative for me. And then I sat in Artemis and I worked on the blog, and I let them have the living room so they could be comfortable and relax and enjoy their last night in the house. I also said, I promised to take care of you and I've got the money. Neither one of you can afford to pay for the Uber and have paid for dinner. Tell me how much they were and I will give you the money. And they laughed at me. They scoffed. They went, ha! Both of them. Ha! Mom gave us money. just for something like this, in case we needed it. Well, you don't need it. You didn't need it. At no point did you actually need it. You chose to need it. But more on that in a moment. I said, well, that's ridiculous. I have the money. Why should your mother's money be spent? Why should you spend the money? Let me give you the money and you give your mother her money back. I never heard another word about it. But the fact that the money was given in the first place for just this reason is fascinating to me.